I've never really been so fragmented in my life. Creatively, it's so exciting. You know, you get to design for 2 brands, you get to design things for a lot of people to look at. The internet following has never been stronger. Across all the different platforms, it's more than 1 million people who watch this stuff and are along for the journey. So you're not really talking to yourself anymore, and that's like exciting. But with that also comes a logistic job, you know. Part of it is designing hopefully beautiful things for people to use, but a growing and a very heavy part of that other job is how do we get those goods across borders with tariffs, taxes, shipping, returns, warehousing. That realistic part of the business that is less abstract and more kind of material becomes heavier and heavier and bigger as the company explodes. What used to be a few things that I was packing in my own apartment has become 3 warehouses across the world, and you know, a growing amount of people who have questions. Where is my package? I would like to return things. That, which is still 1% of the business, still grows because 1% is now big. The entire thing is becoming more expensive than I expected. Really, living in Japan right now with the shrinking economy, it's a very livable life. But unfortunately, like, other parts of the business get quite expensive. Obviously, the constant travel to Japan will be a significant cost. Like, not being based in Japan will be a significant cost. Being physically in Japan is a prerequisite of this entire thing. Being able to show my face and being able to show that I'm serious about this thing, and they're going to take me seriously if I'm there with them, talking through the production, talking through the design elements. So that, at the moment, is quite expensive. It's been 2 months and I've been to Japan twice. And I imagine I'll be in Japan at least another 2 times before the end of the year. And I think it's very hard when I already have a brand. Now, we've got front office, which does really well. I think part of the things that I worry about is that, you know, is my attention going to be diverted? We've just discovered lots of winners, really, in front office. Like, lots of trousers identified have gone really well for us. A lot of jackets have really gone well for us. And the shop is popular on the weekends here in Melbourne. Is this necessarily a great time to start diverting my attention, considering that, you know, both companies, it's me, you know, it's what's happening in my brain. And with every new design, every new item, it's like, I've got to allocate it to front office or to this new Japanese company. Is that going to be an issue? So this is what I'm learning about the business, that I think what's really exciting is that the people that we have working with us at the moment need to have bigger roles in the business. You know, we've hired 3 studio assistants within the business, and all of them have done well in their respective ways. And some will graduate into part-time roles and hopefully full-time roles, and need to start giving them more responsibility, start to, you know, rewarding them with the jobs that basically they've created within the company. That is exciting as someone who hasn't been a boss before. I suppose the idea is like, what is the objective, right? What is the 5-year plan? What is the 10-year plan? And I've always joked about this because it's kind of like asking an addict what their 5-year plan is, you know? And I think their plan is always quite reductive. Like, I just want to get high. And I just want to do it again and not disappear, you know? That's like everyone's condensed plan. And that's certainly true of myself as well. It's like, I just want to get high off like the wins that we have, off the recognition of the good work that we do, over the commercial success that we do, and over the ability to do it again and again and again. Like, that's all I want to do. And I don't want to disappear. So it's certainly not very complex. I'm hoping that these 2 brands get to establish their own voices, and I will discover that over time, what lives where, what lives in the luxury made in Japan arm, what lives in front office, which will still be the main business by far. Whether there is a home for both of them in the wider marketplace landscape of the world of design. I'm hoping that I get to meet a whole bunch of new people. I'm hoping that it requires a lot of travel around the world. And, you know, maybe this means that I need to live in Japan to base myself there. Like, maybe that is a greater place to do this design job. I don't know. But the fact that I don't know is very interesting. And that is quite exciting as well. It just means that I've gone from a place where my life is completely predictable to a place where it's like really full of possibility, and that freeing that autonomy and that ability that I could be anyone and anywhere in a year from now is super exciting. Well, typically what you'd expect from this experience of nearly being 40 is that the opportunities and possibilities of your life start decreasing of what is possible. You have to give up certain dreams, like I'll never be a professional baseball player, you know? Like the kind of spectrum of experiences in your life are meant to close. And for me, they're starting to open. And that is something that I've kind of always wanted in my life. And I think in a few short years, I have gone from a doctor, for someone who was interested in art and design, but not necessarily fashion, to learning this business and being involved in it, and now being, you know, somewhat known for it, and now trying to hit that second level within the course of 3.5 years. It doesn't mean that the entire construct of you having to be born in the business, you having to know people, is false. And this is just the start of it all. We'll still need to break into the Japanese market, which is something that's quite established. There are lots of great brands who are doing interesting things, and we have to find our way as to like a unique Japanese voice within this. Obviously, I come from Australia. I've got a different point of view. We're used to working with different fabrics, and maybe that would be compelling. It's not enough to just copy what they're doing, but also provide a unique voice into that marketplace. And hopefully that would be, you know, equally exotic to the Japanese market as it will be to someone from the outside world. Someone from the outside world will see us as a Japanese brand, and someone from in Japan would see us as kind of an interesting foreign voice. And that idea of being foreign is something that I really want to embrace. And we'll need to figure out how to gain traction, because mostly we're popular on social media that's English speaking, and that really doesn't mean much in the Japanese world. We may have to take a look at traditional media. They're still into magazines, they're still into TV, and it'll be like an exciting challenge to see how we break into that market. And we may have to deal with a completely different design language as well, like a different aesthetic. There's a certain design language in the Western world of things that are like nice, but designing for Japanese people and for Japanese tastes is a completely different spectrum of colors, shapes, textures, drapes, silhouettes, and being able to be literate in both markets so that everyone is excited will be a super exciting challenge. So there's a lot to look forward to, and that is going to go on for at least, and establishing the first steps of that challenge will be the next 6 months or so. I'm really excited to document the process, but also document the journey behind the entire thing. Like, it could be a gigantic failure, but at least it'll be fun.